This one comes to us from NBCnews.com, and it's a dateline from Helena, Montana, and it's about the J-Dubs, and you want to click on it unless you knew that already. So the Jehovah's Witnesses must pay $35 million. That's a lot of fucking money. To a woman who says the church's national organization ordered Montana clergy members not to report her sexual abuse as a child at the hands of a congregation member. The jury ruled this in a verdict. So already, we know it's been setting the stage here. Jehovah's Witnesses are just as bad as the Catholic Church, just as bad as the Mormon Church, and just as bad as just about every other religion out there. They try to circumvent the law by saying we're going to handle this internally, and they don't report things up. So good. I'm glad she's getting $35 million to fuck your church over. I know it's a drop in the bucket for your organization, probably, but let's just hope it's at least one of the nails in your coffin. A judge must review the penalty, and the Jehovah's Witnesses National Organization, Watchtower Bible and Tract Society of New York, of course they plan to appeal. Still, the 21-year-old woman's attorney said that Wednesday that a verdict sends a message to the church to report child abuse to outside authorities. And there's a quote here from their attorney. Hopefully, that message is loud enough that this will cause the organization to change its priorities in a way that they will begin prioritizing the safety of children so that other children aren't abused in the future, said Neil Smith, the attorney. The Office of Public Information at the world headquarters of the Jehovah's Witnesses responded to the verdict with an unsigned statement. That's fucking cowardly right there. Good job, J-Dubs. Jehovah's Witnesses abhor child abuse, but yet you cover it up all the fucking time, and strive to protect children from such acts, but you messed up in this one and you didn't actually do so. That's why you have to pay $35 million. Watchtower's pursuing appellate review, and they're going to come out and be like, yeah, you let these people fuck kids and didn't report it up. Shame on you. You deserve to pay this $35 million. So the Montana case is one of dozens that have been filed nationwide over the past decade, alleging Jehovah's Witnesses mismanaged or covered up sexual abuses of children. Hey, I can't wait for Scientology to hear about this one. That's going to be fun. The case that prompted Wednesday's ruling involved two women, now 32 and 21, who allege a family member sexually abused them, and a third family member in Thompson Falls in the 1990s and the 2000s. In the 1990s, that 21-year-old girl would have been in the single digits. That's fucking gross. The women say they reported the abuse to actually 21 in the 1990s. That would make her negative ages. So if she would be in 2000s and she'd be 21, that means she would have been 3 years old at the beginning of 2000. Fuck. Ugh, gross, man. So the women said they reported the abuse to church elders who handled the matter internally after consulting with the national organization. How about you just turn the fucker in? You don't need to consult with anybody. You don't want a black eye to find you in the future. You better get rid of that fucking rapist immediately. The elders expelled the abuser from the congregation in 2004 and then reinstated him the next year. And the lawsuit states this, and the abuse of the girl who is now 21 continued. So the abuse of her continued, not she continued being a part of it. Anyway, it's fucked up. The lawsuit claimed that the local and national Jehovah's Witnesses organizations were negligent and violated a Montana law that requires them to report abuse to outside authorities. Yeah, because they know all too fucking often that the abuse does go unreported to the authorities, and it needs to stop. You need to fucking report this immediately, or you're going to end up with more of these $35 million judgments against you. Attorneys for the J-Dubs said in court filings that Montana law exempts elders from reporting internal ecclesiastical proceedings on a congregation member's serious sin. Internal ecclesiastical proceedings on a congregation member's serious sin. They don't have to report that the church is looking into a person's naughty times. How about you find out about it and you kick him the fuck out and let him stay out? I know it's hard for J-Dubs to keep members these days, but it's even harder to keep everybody else in when they find out that you're harboring child abusers, you fuckers. The church also contended that the national organization isn't liable for the actions by Thompson Falls elders and that too much time has passed for the woman to sue. Oh, let's put a time limit on how things fucking hurt you in your life. That's great. The jury awarded the 21-year-old woman $4 million for her injuries, plus $30 million in punitive damages against the Watchtower, and $1 million in punitive damages against the Christian Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses, which is another JW corporation that communicates with congregations across the U.S. The monetary award must be reviewed by the trial judge and could be reduced. A Montana law caps punitive damage awards at 3% of a company's net worth, or $10 million, whichever is less. And a legal challenge to that law is pending before the Montana Supreme Court, which makes you wonder, how much is the JWs worth? Are the JWs worth? Are, because it's multiple. Anyway, the jury dismissed claims that the church should have reported the second woman's abuse by the same congregant member. Jurors concluded that church elders did not receive notice of the 32-year-old woman's abuse in 1998, as she said, and they did, and therefore did not have a duty to tell authorities. The third family member who claimed abuse was not a plaintiff in the lawsuit. So, the Associated Press normally doesn't post the names of people who say they are a victim of a sex crime, so, according to one of our patrons out there who was nice enough to leave us a comment on this whole thing, so Catholics, LDS, and Jehovah's Witnesses? Damn, I guess it is a bad thing to repress human sexuality. You ain't fucking kidding there, sir. That's the kind of thing that happens when we don't let people fuck. When you don't let people have normal sexual relations with other people. When you demonize sex. When you make it something that you have to wait until you're married to do. When you put so many fucking hurdles in the way of just being a human being with all these rules and dogma that you have to follow. That's when the bad shit starts to happen to people in their world.